Welcome to Chemistry, Chapter 1, Chemistry in Our Lives. Section 1.1, Chemistry and Chemicals. Chemistry is everywhere in our world, in our lives, and in ourselves. Everything is made of chemicals. Now, when you hear the word chemicals, you often think of something that has a negative connotation to it. When in fact, those chemicals which we would have a negative connotation associated with would be hazardous chemicals, but there are many good chemicals, such as our human bodies. Okay. So what is chemistry? Chemistry is the study of the composition, structure, properties, and reactions of matter. And matter comprises anything that has mass and takes up space, which is a lot of things. Okay. Chemistry is dubbed as the central science. All other sciences can trace their roots into chemistry because chemistry is the study of matter. Biology, allied health, physics, geology, astronomy, and so forth, have their roots in chemistry because chemistry is the study of the composition, structure, properties, and reactions of matter. There are four main classic branches of chemistry: inorganic, organic, analytical, and physical. Inorganic chemistry refers to the traditional study of non-living matters, such as rocks and minerals, metals and acids, bases, fire, okay? Organic chemistry traditionally is the study of living matter. Now we're going to see towards the end of the course that traditional definition of organic chemistry has changed, and it's actually the study of compounds and reactions of material containing carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, and some other elements which are part of living organisms. Okay. Analytical chemistry is the study of chemistry where testing and analysis of matter is conducted, whether it's by simplistic means or means of using complex instrumentation to find out what something is. Okay. Physical chemistry is a theoretical branch of chemistry where it's very mathematical based as well. Theories on subatomic matter, very small subatomic, and we will talk about what makes up matter on a very small level in this course. So these are the four classic branches of chemistry. You may have heard of biochemistry. Biochemistry is a subset of organic chemistry. But these are the four classic branches. If we were in the classroom right now, the live classroom, at this point, I would ask you, what comes to mind when you hear the word chemicals? And from teaching this many years in the past, and I've asked this question at the first initial class, I get a lot of responses, and some of the responses that I've gotten, I've put up here on the board. Salt. Example, sodium chloride, which is table salt. I wrote the chemical formulas. We're going to learn them later on. You don't have to know chemical formulas right now. When you hear the word chemicals, salt, okay, table salt. There's also rock salt, Epsom salts. So salts are chemicals. Sometimes people say bleach, sodium hypochlorite. Bleach is used to clean clothes. It's used to clean in the home. It's also used in water purification treatment. Another chemical that people may say is hydrogen peroxide, used to clean small wounds, to disinfect small cuts or scrapes. It's also used in formulating some toothpastes. It's also used in the formulation of mouthwashes, some of them for whitening teeth. Water is a chemical, H2O. Water is a chemical. People say, no, it's not a chemical. Because when you think of water, you don't think of it as something that it causes a reaction per se, such as some of the other items listed on here. But water is a chemical, and our bodies have lots of it. Ammonia. Ammonia is used in cleaning products. It's used in, you can have ammonia mixed with water in an ammonia solution. You can have it mixed in a Windex solution for window cleaning. It's formulated into many hair dyes because it allows the formulator to give a lot of different colors. It's not really good for the hair, but it allows for, making a lot of different colors when ammonia is formulated into the mix there. When you hear the word chemicals, you may hear the word acids. Okay, acids may come to mind, and I listed some acids here: hydrochloric acid and sulfuric acid. Okay, hydrochloric acid we're going to be talking about in the course. All of our bodies have hydrochloric acid inside. It's the acid that aids in the digestion of our food. We all have it in our bodies. When somebody is ill and they vomit, that taste that is in your throat afterwards is a result of the hydrochloric acid. It leaves that stinging taste because of what it is. It's an acid. Hydrochloric acid, if it were to spill on your skin, it would sting your skin. You may wonder, how come our bodies can have it though? Well, we have the mucus lining, which allows for it to not cause damage to our tissues, unless there's an issue with the mucus lining and you can have an ulcer form. That's one type of acid, hydrochloric acid. Sulfuric acid is another acid, another strong acid, which is in batteries. Battery acid. Car batteries have sulfuric acid in the container. There's other acids too. You drink juice, you drink orange juice, you drink apple juice. Maybe you like to eat tomatoes. Maybe you like to drink Coca-Cola. All of those foods and beverages have an acid in them. Okay, not something as strong as these two acids, but you have phosphoric acid, you have citric acid, you have ascorbic acid, weaker acids. A lot of our food products contain acids. Vitamin C is an acid. Sugars are also chemicals. Yeah, so here I have the formula for glucose, which is blood sugar, but you have other sugars as well: fructose, sucrose. Metals are chemicals. I have here the symbols for gold, silver, and copper. All of these metals are chemicals. Alcohols are chemicals. There are many different types of alcohols. This is the formula for ethanol. Ethanol is the alcohol that is in hand sanitizer in about 70% concentration. Alcohol that is ethanol is also in alcoholic beverages in concentrations from 5% up to 40% or so, okay? And there's other alcohols as well besides ethanol. There's isopropyl alcohol. There's methanol, which is in copier toners, and in windshield wiper fluid. So alcohols are chemicals. Some alcohols, ethanol you can ingest in moderate quantities, but other alcohols can be much more detrimental in small quantities. And what does food contain? Food contains carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. They are large chemicals. They are large molecules, but they are chemicals. And we eat carbohydrates, proteins, and fats in our diet in order for survival. So all of these are chemicals. The air we breathe, we need to have oxygen in order to be alive. Oxygen is a chemical. It's a good chemical. It's a very important chemical that we need in order to survive. So when you hear the word chemicals, you want to broaden your thoughts to say, it's not what you always think it is. Okay, so all of these things are chemicals plus more. Section 1.2, the scientific method. Scientific method enables the scientist to ask questions and seek answers in an organized manner. When we say scientist, we don't necessarily mean somebody that has a degree in chemistry, biology, physics. We mean someone that's working on solving a problem. Okay. The scientific method follows a set of general principles. And the first step would be to make observations. Observations are collected, description or measurement of a natural phenomenon. It can be a physical description, it can be a measurement, okay? So for an example, a silver tray turns dull gray when left uncovered over time, better known as tarnish. Okay. So if you could see here, it might be hard to see in the light, but you can see this is a silver silver plated serving utensil, and you can see right here you have this dull gray. It's hard to see in the video, I do realize that, but for comparison's sake, you can look at this silver ring and see how it's bright and shiny, as opposed to this server here where you see it's dull gray. So observation, you observe that there's this silver tray or utensil turns dull gray when left uncovered over time. What would the next step be after the observations are made? So after the observations are noted, a hypothesis is formulated. And the hypothesis is a tentative or possible explanation for the natural phenomenon. In the example that we're going with, you hypothesize that oxygen in the air probably reacted with the silver, causing it to tarnish and change color. To test the hypothesis, an experiment is carried out. An experiment is a procedure that tests the validity of a hypothesis. So to test this hypothesis, is it really the oxygen in the air? An experiment can be done with the silver tray, cover half of it with plastic to remove oxygen as best as possible, and leave the other half uncovered and exposed to oxygen. This was left unopened in the air, and that resulted. This ring is kept in a plastic bag, in a box, in a jewelry box, with less exposure to oxygen. After the experiment is carried out, you then go to the next step. After the hypothesis and experiment is carried out, you come to a conclusion. And in the example that we're talking about here, the results of the experiment are the conclusion, and the conclusion is that the plastic-covered silver did not tarnish, the uncovered silver did tarnish. Okay, just like I had said, this was left uncovered, and tarnish was a result. And this ring, which is silver, was kept in plastic and kept in a box and kept in another jewelry box. So there is no tarnishing on here. Had hardly no interaction, had a lot less reaction with oxygen, had a lot of reactions with oxygen. So, come to a conclusion. But guess what? In reality, a lot of times the experiment does not support the hypothesis, and when that happens, you need to start over. This happens all the time in reality, in research. This happens all the time. You have a lot of disappointment before you have satisfaction. Okay? And you go over and you start over, or you know, it's reality. A theory is a very strong hypothesis. It's a hypothesis validated many times by many different experiments. And in this course, we'll be talking about theories as well. We'll be talking about atomic theory, okay, the quantum mechanical model, the nuclear model, the atom. We'll be talking about those theories, about how the atom is structured. We all use the scientific method in our daily lives, whether we realize it or not, and it's used in a much more structured setting, in research, and in production. But let's say in your home you want to use a cleaning product, and you think, what's the best cleaning product to use for a certain stain or a certain mark? And you may try different cleaning products in order to come to the conclusion of which one works the best for whatever you're trying to clean. That's the scientific method right there, just not structured as you would maybe put it for a science project, let's say. But we all use the scientific method to find answers to questions that we don't know. The next couple sections of the textbook, section 1.3, Learning Chemistry, a Study Plan, and section 1.4, Key Math Skills. I want to just go through to explain the textbook for sections 1.3 and 1.4. Section 1.3 talks about how a lot of the stuff that I mentioned in the intro video for the course and things that I have mentioned in the syllabus. But I just want to show you how the textbook is laid out with the homework problems, because that's mentioned here in this section. When you see the homework problems that are listed in the syllabus, the homework problems come at the end of each section. So let's say that you finish section, I'm going to skip ahead to section in chapter, no, let's see, at the end of chapter 1. At the end of chapter 1, I have a couple problems assigned, okay? And you'll find the homework problems at the end of each section within the chapter. Okay, that's what I want to mention here. So section 1.5, okay, would have the problems after section 1.5, okay? And it's written with the chapter number and then the number problem. Okay, so that's how the book is laid out with the homework problems. They're throughout the chapter, and then the problems that are odd numbers have the answers at the end of the chapter. Answers to selected problems. So in sections 1.3 and 1.4, talking about math skills, you need to have the basic math skills to do chemistry, and just how the book is laid out. So again, for the homework problems, you have the homework problems throughout the chapter, and you have select answers at the end of the chapter. If you have any questions about that throughout the course, usually it's the first or second chapter I get these questions, because you're still trying to figure out the layout of the book. Just ask me, okay? Okay, just to summarize again what I was holding up with the book, remember that the recommended homework problems are throughout the chapter, and the answer keys are at the end of the chapter. Refer to the syllabus for recommended homework problems and tips for success in this course. Section 1.4 goes over a brief math review. Read through this section. Familiarize yourself with your calculator. Okay? In a standard classroom setting, you cannot use your phone as a calculator for exams. So it's good practice to familiarize yourself with your scientific calculator or your graphing calculator and how to use it. I also have posted on Canvas a math review sheet. It's optional. I've been teaching this course for a long time, and I see all different varieties of math skills. I see people that they haven't taken math in several years, but you meet the math prerequisite anyway. But people haven't taken math in several years. Skills are rusty. There's people that have math way above what's necessary for this course, and therefore, don't have any issues with it. There are people that they may not have had math in a while, but once they look at it, they're like, oh, there, I remember that. So everybody's math level is different, but I did put a review sheet on Canvas. It's optional to do. You can do it. You can send it back to me if you want me to check it. Again, it's optional. You know where your math is coming into this course. Be honest with yourself. Let me know if you need any additional help beyond what the math review sheet is, okay? The next section, we're going to review scientific notation, section 1.5. That's coming next.